Alright, I've been promising you an unboxing, and here it is. This is going to be the oracle deck that I'm using for the daily oracles starting in March. Can you believe it's March already? Well, almost. So the first thing that got me was I thought this was just a standard lift the top off, but it's not. It was a bit of a surprise, but hey. A very welcome surprise is the size of the book. You know, most of the oracle decks that come with these teeny little books that are very hard to open and read. This one is not. Isn't it wonderful? It's a beautiful size. The font isn't all crammed together. For each goddess, we have a poem. We have the mythology of the goddess, which is just wonderful. The meaning of the card. And then a ritual suggestion so that we can really work with the energy of this goddess rather than just reading what she has to say to us. So this is very much an active working deck. The cards themselves are an awesome size. Come out here, little one. Let's just put the box to one side. Now, I know you're all used to me using the Enchanted Map Oracle, so let's just use that for a size comparison. So this is the Goddess Oracle. We haven't even started to look at the cards yet. Size-wise, it's a little bigger than what I would call a standard Oracle deck, but that's okay. It's not big enough, it's so big as to be unwieldy. And you know, I mentioned the size of the book. This is the book that comes with the Oracle, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. Now, this is no reflection on the quality of the deck because these books are always made to fit in the box. And the Enchanted Oracle is absolutely no different. The book was made to fit in the box it came in. And I adore that deck. So it's just this book is bigger, so it's easier to read. For me, I'm probably going to be curling up on the couch and reading the book on its own, separate from the cards. Just because. So let's take a look at the artwork here. Absolutely stunning. And it really does capture the essence of the goddess. Rhiannon is all about the horses. I have a feeling I'm going to be meeting a lot of new goddesses, which is an awesome thing. I don't know this lady. Sekhmet, the infamous lion-headed goddess of Egypt. Excuse me, still working on my coffee. And they really have captured her essence there, the real predator huntress essence. Shakti, it's that wonderful, I think she's one of the Hindu goddesses, and she really is all about energy. Amaterasu, the wonderful Japanese goddess of beauty. Aphrodite. So rather than go through them all individually, you can see that the artwork is just absolutely stunning. And it really does capture the essence. I can feel it in the cards. I don't know if you can feel it in the video, but it really does capture just the essence of the goddess energy. There's an amazing feminine energy here. Pachamama, the earth mother goddess with her ears of maize there. Pele, the Hawaiian fire goddess. Baba Yaga, I'm sure we're all familiar with at least her name. I would need to look her up. Bast, cat goddess of Egypt. And here it's just one simple word to sum up the energy of that goddess. So let's do the interview your deck spread that I do with all new decks. And because I'm brand new to this deck, we're probably going to have to look up what the cards are saying to us. But that's okay. So the first thing we ask is, what are you here to teach me? Well, that's a straightforward answer, isn't it? Sophia. She is the Greek goddess of wisdom. And so she's here, this deck. I think she is an appropriate pronoun for it. She is here to bring us wisdom and insight, just to help guide us on our day-to-day path. So how can I get the best out of working with you? There we go. That's the card that's popped its way forward. Boundaries. Well, that's interesting. She's one of the Hindu goddesses, Durga. So we're going to have to look her up and see what the book has to say about boundaries that she's asking. So we can get the best out of working with this deck by creating boundaries. What are you taking inside that should remain outside? How are you not protecting yourself, your life, your time? So there's a lot more, obviously. I would say that she's saying here, because a boundary sets a fence around something, we can get the best out of working with this deck by being very, very clear about what it is we want to know. So we set that boundary by making our questions as precise as possible. Now this is going to be an interesting one. What is your personality? And you didn't see that because it wasn't on camera, but a card just went flying onto the floor. So, and that's the card that just literally flew out of the deck onto the floor. Solace, illness and wellness. Now, Solace was the goddess. She's, she was another goddess that was co-opted by the Romans, but I believe she's actually British. I'll have to look it up. But she was the goddess that a lot of the baths, the Roman baths, were dedicated to. And so she's very much associated with cleansing, with sickness, with health. So let me look her up real quick. Yeah, she's British. The ancient British called on and visited Sulis at her spa, shrine and bath for healing and health. Her waters were said to be miraculous in their ability to effect cures. Sul is Celtic for sun and eye, and she's thought to be a sun goddess. And they've drawn her here swimming up through her own healing waters into the light of the sun. And she represents the depths that all people must plumb in their journey to light, health, and wholeness. So, your personality, well, it's a very healing deck. And the meaning of the card has come to tell you it's time to embrace the dance of illness and wellness. So her personality is really one of wholeness, of bringing healing, of helping us find not just our weaknesses, but maybe more importantly, helping us find our strengths and helping us learn how to work with both of those strengths. So, next up, what subjects do you prefer? Come back here. I have incense going here, and it smells amazing. Oops. Yep, there's the very edge of the little incense burner I made. So this card's poking out. So what subjects do you prefer? That's an interesting answer. Victim. So My first feeling, and I will look this up to clarify it, but my very first feeling is that this deck prefers subjects where we feel that we're the victim, so that that she can help us bring healing to that area. So let's see. She swims into your life to tell you to stop being a victim. The way to wholeness is to recognize how you've been caught up in and are living the victim archetype, and then to change the pattern by empowering yourself. So this deck prefers to be a deck of empowerment. It's not interested in answering questions that will keep us the victim. She's interested in helping us find our way through and into our own power. So she really does prefer subjects that will result in our own empowerment. And obviously that is open to interpretation for everyone. The cards themselves they're very flexible. They're not overly heavy, but I think they're going to be fairly durable. And they're not real, they are laminated, but they're not just like so shiny that they're slippery. They're kind of just right. The size feels really good. The back is very enigmatic, and I like the back. To me, it sums up the divine feminine, the feminine itself, and how there's always part of us that is just hidden and only ever comes out when it's absolutely needed. So I'm really going to enjoy working with this deck over the month of March. And I'm sure she's going to have a lot of interesting insight for us. Let's see if she'll just give us a couple of cards for March, for the overall energy of the month. So what do you have to tell us about March? Cycles. Well, that's... But I won't get facetious about it. Basically, it's all about the beginning and the end of cycles. And every healing is the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. So March is very much going to be about healing, about starting again, about letting go. Because to be able to start again, we have to be able to let go. Do you have another card for us for March? You do. Synthesis. Oh, now this is a goddess I've never heard of. She looks Asian. So let's have a look and see who she is. I like her energy. She's very nice. Gildeptis, Lady Hanging Hair, is the forest goddess of the Tlingit and Haida people of Northwest North America. So she's not Asian, she's actually First Nations. So she is embodied by the mossy hanging branches of cedar. She glides into your life to tell you the way to wholeness for you now lies in synthesis. It's time to bring all the divergent parts, all the opposing pieces together into one whole you. Resolving issues, bringing things into union. Perhaps you're dissipating your life energy in too many directions. It's time to find the common thread that will serve your needs the best way. So we're looking at cycles, and we're looking really at simplifying and really starting to hone in on life paths, on callings. So it looks like March is going to be the start of a really exciting time for us all. Be prepared for change, because this always means change, and just embrace it and go with it. So that is the Goddess Oracle deck that we'll be using in March. And I think she has a lot of exciting things to teach us. I look forward to starting to use her. I'll provide links, down below for the Zinzeudo website. for where you can buy this beautiful deck, should you feel moved to buy it. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with all the video content that we're going to slowly start adding. You know, we have these monthly deck unboxings going on now to help you really get to know the decks that I'm using each month. And we're going to be adding other little fun videos as Jen and I get around to making them. We're just, you know, looking at different things in the store, and we're also really open to what we'd love to do is make videos answering your questions. So if you have questions about anything, spirituality, various crystals, anything at all in that huge overarching metaphysical topic. Energy healing is another one that people commonly have a lot of questions about. If you have any questions along those lines, either leave them in the comments of this video or leave them on the Zinzeudo Infinite Wellness Facebook page. And what we'll do is we'll start to make videos answering your questions. And each of these videos is obviously going to be advertised on Facebook before it pops up on YouTube. So you'll be able to tell as soon as your question is answered.